youtube.com/MugenLord. Subscribe to the channel for gaming news, updates, discussion, and live streams. Signing off.
Hey guys, it's Mugalore here, and I'm back again with another video. And today we're going to be doing a movie review of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I must say before I begin, if you guys aren't familiar with my channel when it comes to doing movie reviews, I try to do most of my reviews that's consistent with the channel, which I try to cover movies that's related to either comic books, anime, of course, video games. And of course, Sonic the Hedgehog is a video game. It's based off of a video game. So, hey, here's the review. Now, before we get into the review, I also want to say that as far as video game adaptations are concerned, we all know that most adaptations when it comes to video games into movies, they just generally suck. I must say that Mortal Kombat is the only one that I say that they done a good job. The first Mortal Kombat movie, they done a good job of adapting a video game into a movie. And despite what everybody say about Street Fighter, even though it was horrible, but it was horrible in a fun way, in a good way. And I love the Street Fighter movie as well. That's just my guilty pleasure when it comes to video game movies, which is Street Fighter. But Sonic the Hedgehog, what do I feel about it? How do I feel about it? I love the movie. That's all I can tell you. And also, this video is going to be a spoiler review because the thing is, the way I love this movie and the way I try to describe most movies, I have a hard time trying to contain my hype or what my overall opinions are about it. So I just can't go through the fact talking about a movie without going into spoilers. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I advise you to go check out this video much later after you've seen it already. Come back and then we can have a overall meaningful discussion and what we think about the movie in general. So we're going to dive into spoilers with this in this video. So I'm warning you right now, go away from this video if you don't want to be spoiled, because you will be spoiled. So let's begin with the review. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog, as I said before, it was announced that it was going to have a movie, and Sony had pretty much bought the rights to Sonic the Hedgehog movie or the property in order to do the movie and everything. Now, I believe this is back in 2013 or 2014. And also, not only that Sony picked up Sonic, they also picked up the rights to do a Super Mario Brothers movie, which, if you guys don't know, Super Mario Brothers is supposed to get a movie. Rather CGI, don't know, but they're also supposed to get a movie as well. And it sounds funny that Sony has both a Sega and a Nintendo character license in order to do these movies. Well, later on, Sony ended up selling the license over to Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures pretty much said, "Yo, give me that. Let us see what we can do with it." So after that, we heard nothing of the Sonic movie. After a while, we heard nothing, not even a rumor, not even screenshots or whatever. Until a little bit later, some pictures started floating showing Green Hill and stuff like that. And they decided to put out a little script of what they're going to do with the movie. There's going to be like a buddy cop type of movie. So people's already feeling sketchy. There's going to have a human character, which is, his name is Tom. He's supposed to be a police officer, starred by James Monster. And him and Sonic are going to be just pretty much riding side by side with one another and stuff like that. And that Sonic is going to be like a teenage delinquent type of character and stuff like that. So of course, how the Sonic community and just fans in general is going to react to this and stuff like that. So later on, April 2019, we finally get the official reveal trailer of Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and oh my god, it was the talk of of the week. It went trending. And it went viral on social media such as Twitter and stuff like that of how horrible the design they decided to go with when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog. It was to the point where Sonic was pretty much unrecognizable. And they did show a teaser poster showing off the design and just showing the silhouette. People were like, what the f? And now that we finally got a chance to see the character, he just looked hideous. It looked scary, like something from a freakish nightmare, because he looked at he had the animal look feature to him, and then he like a human at the same time, and it just looked disgusting. It just looked weird. And because of that, the backlash and everything, and the backlash made the movie just get so much attention, they decided to listen to the fans, the studio, and decided to go with a redesign and push the movie back into February instead of a November 2019 release. Now, I'm gonna get into my own speculations and theories about that and near the end of the video and what I think about this whole redesign thing, you know? So later on in November 2020, we finally get a new trailer, but this time with the redesign, and the fans went crazy. And of course, I'm a Sonic fan too, so you know I went nuts. And it was just a love letter to the fans. Everyone enjoyed it. Now Sonic had pretty much been revived in a way where people now are looking forward to the movies, because we already seen Detective Pikachu. People did showing you how a video game interpretation and the adaptation of characters can be done correctly. So now everybody's looking forward to this movie, which is a good thing, and I'm really happy. And I'm just going to see the movie regardless, because I still want to give my review. And if the movie's going to be horrible, I want to trash it anyway, and make it good entertainment for you guys anyway. So I'm definitely need to do this. I definitely need to see this movie even more, and fans want to go out and support the movie. So now that we got that out of the way, just to give you a little backstory, just in case you guys didn't know anything about what was going on behind the scenes with Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Now you guys know. So leading up to the movie, there was a lot of advertisements going on and stuff to get everybody hype about it. So now, what's surprising about this movie is not only that it was a fun family type of movie. This movie is not only a love letter to Sonic fans and fans who are just gamers in general. This movie has some layers to it, it really did. As far as it had some dark tones, some sad moments in the movies that I didn't expect from a Sonic movie. When you play a Sonic game, you see the one-liners, the jokes, you know what I'm saying, and just the cockiness of the character and stuff like that, very cartoony and stuff. But this Sonic movie just took a different approach with Sonic. This is not the Sonic that you will be familiar with, because when you play Sonic games, especially back in how Sonic is portrayed back during even the Sega Genesis era, Sonic has this cocky attitude. He's a character that takes no nonsense and stuff like that, and he's very confident in himself and stuff like that. But this approach, and just to remind you, this is an origin story of Sonic the Hedgehog as well. Sonic is not the character that you would know. You would be able to say, hey, this is the Sonic from the actual game. No, this is an origin story. He's not that cocky type of character just yet. And I would say that he begins to get that way as he starts to develop through the movie up until the end. Because the reason why he's not this confident type of person is because his whole life growing up, which I enjoyed, is how they showed that he grew up pretty much like at on this island, and if you've seen the trailer before, you see him running through the loops and stuff like that, but they show him as baby Sonic, and his whole life he was different from the rest of the I guess you say the animals, or the anthropomorphic creatures on this island. And because he was super fast, no one can keep up with him and stuff. So he was adopted. You never knew who his real parents was, but he was adopted by this owl looking woman. And she was telling him that he needs to be cautious and not reveal his speed, is because people's going to want to go after it and everything. And the movie jumps right into that. The movie pulls no punches. It goes straight into the origin to give you to set everything up for you, so you know where this character is going to go and how this character is going to behave. And what was so dark and I guess so sad about it was the moment he goes to his mom and he gave her a flower or a dandelion. The echidnas showed up, and that's right, the echidnas are in the movie. Now, people are already speculating that the echidnas was in it because of the Baby Sonic trailer. Fiends, got on there and paused the trailer and zoomed in, and you've seen an echidna. But yes, echidnas are in the movie. They're in their tribal outfit and everything, and the echidnas is trying to take Sonic. So his mother grabs Sonic, his adopted mother grabs Sonic, flies him outside of the house, and they chug spears at her and injured her wing. And she told Sonic, whatever you do, you gotta keep running. You gotta run as far as you can. Now, the way the ring system worked, because she hands him rings, a bag full of rings. Now, in Sonic the Hedgehog movie, when the games, when it comes to the rings and everything, the rings pretty much collect those in order to keep Sonic alive and everything like that, and give you extra bonus lives, etc., etc. And in some games, it restores your health. Now, in this movie, the rings are used, and she explains that creatures that come from pretty much from, I guess you could say, from different planets, or they come from more advanced type of planets, these creatures use these rings in order to travel to different worlds and different realms and stuff in the universe. So she gives Sonic these rings, and she told him to run as far as possible. Run into the, and she gave him pretty much, he also got a map to what planets he should run to and everything. Now, what I like about what they've done with the maps, they're pretty much like zones, like in Sonic games, because the way they're laid out like zones, which I thought was pretty dope. And pretty much, baby Sonic, his adopted mother throws him through the ring, and the echidnas are running up, and she stands in front of the ring and tells Sonic, to keep going, keep running. And if you ever get caught, or people trying to take your powers in other worlds, jump to the next world or jump to the next zone, pretty much. And that's pretty much the outline of his origin story. He been running to different zones until he finally gets to Earth. And he's been living on Earth for about like 10 years. So 10 years has passed. So Sonic will probably most likely be like 15 now or whatever like that. And his whole life, he's just been enjoying where he lived. He appeared in Green Hill. So now he's in Green Hill and everything. He's pretty much living his life, and that's how he been following Tom. Tom is like the upstanding officer, starring James Marster. He's the upstanding officer in Green Hill, and Green Hill's a small town, so everybody know who he is and stuff like that. And Tom's storyline is pretty much that he wants to be more than what he is. He don't just want to be this small police officer in this small town. He wants to be able to save lives on a much bigger scale. He wants to be dependable and stuff like that. So that's his inspiration and his character and stuff like that. And Sonic brings that challenge to him, which I thought was pretty cool. So they both intertwine with each other. They both need each other in a way. And for the 10 years that Sonic has been on Earth, he's been following Tom, because Tom caught Sonic's eye. Sonic caught Tom's eye, excuse me. And he's been following his life. And he also found out that he has a wife, which is starred by Tika Sumpter, which she's also a good actress in this movie as well. But to not just go beat for beat for the story and stuff, what happens is now is because of this abandonment that Sonic has felt or whatever. When you see the scene from the trailer where he's playing baseball and stuff like that, he realizes that he's tired of being alone, and it's frustrating being alone. He wants people to see him. He wants people to appreciate him. He wants to be wanted. And it's this whole thing about abandonment. He has abandonment issues and stuff. So he gets frustrated that no one is there to see him play baseball, and no one's there to celebrate with him and stuff. And him doing that, he ends up running so fast. It's like he goes to like the supersonic speed where the back of his spikes glow up, his eyes glow up, and then it shuts all the power. I mean, this movie displayed how fast he is and how powerful he is, because he pretty much shut down the power on like half the globe. That's how powerful he is. And that's what gets the government's attention, and that's how Eggman is pretty much, or Dr. Robotnik is introduced in the story, because this pretty much became like a government investigation, because nothing like this have ever happened before on this large scale. Because first the government thought that it was some kind of EMP or whatever you call that type of bomb, but it wasn't. They thought it was a terrorist attack, and that's what got Dr. Robotnik involved, because he had the technology and he had the power to do something that the military themselves really didn't have the power and the techniques to do. And what I like about this is, now that we're jumping into Robotnik, I love Jim Carrey's take on the character, because not only that, I've been a big Jim Carrey fan since The Living Color and then Ace Ventura, Pet Detective and stuff like that. He brings a lot of charisma on the screen, and he brings back that old Jim Carrey, the super funny, funny type of guy and stuff like that. Like the moment he appeared on the screen, I just instantly started laughing, because his gestures, everything, it just brings me back to my childhood. It's like this movie was a good combination of everything, of nostalgia and everything, because you got Jim Carrey, you got Sonic the Hedgehog, you got everything that would make a good type of film, like especially a 90s film and stuff like that. And it was just awesome. And Jim Carrey really brought this character to life. And when you think about it, Eggman is not really a serious character. He is a wacky character. But what I love about this character is, and you can tell by the interviews with Jim Carrey, that Jim Carrey had a lot of fun and he wanted to do a lot more with this character. And he also said that when he picked up the script and to dive more into Eggman, that there is a layer of depth to him. And what I like about what the movie did was it gave you little subtle hints about his past, because you really don't know much about him. Similar to how Heath Ledger had gave you little bit of hints of how Joker became the way he is by telling those little stories each and every encounter that he had with a victim. This was like kind of like that in that sense. Every time he ran to either Tom or he was talking to different individuals, either there was a police officer or the military, it gave you little bit of hints about him and in his past. And the thing is, Sonic and Robotnik are kind of like one of the same, is because Sonic, you know, he didn't have family or whatever, and he had a foster mother, and he'd been abandoned. The same thing with Robotnik. Robotnik is super intelligent, but he had no family and everything. So you can see that how they both handled their abandonment. You see them how they handle how they've lost family in some way, and in some way, but differently. Robotnik intelligence, and he's pretty much just taking it out on the world of him being alone and him being outcast and him being different and stuff like that. And Jim Carrey, it really reflected this, because he wasn't just he's not a bumbling idiot. Jim Carrey, playing as Dr. Robotnik, wasn't a bumbling idiot. He's in fact very intelligent, and he showed how intelligent he is. And also, this dude got hands too. He can fight. He can fight too, which I thought was pretty cool. He can handle himself, and it shows that he takes very pride in his work and the way the government and the way he talks about himself, that his success rate and when it comes to winning and accomplishing goals and everything has always been 100% until he meets Sonic. Sonic is the one that exploits his vulnerability and exploits his weaknesses, that he doesn't want to be wrong. Because the whole thing was, when he's looking for Sonic, and James Marsters or Tom finds Sonic hiding, because the government was looking for him, find him hiding in his garage, and he tranquilizes Sonic. And when Robotnik gets onto the trail and found out that he's at Tom's house, or he gets a hint that something may be at his house, he rushes into the house, and he couldn't find it. And the thing that really got me was, Robotnik said, like, I'm never wrong. Something is in this house or whatever like that, which goes to show that he's obsessed with being right. He's obsessed with being 100%, which I thought was really cool. And now that this starts the scene where they're both on a road trip. They're on this road trip trying to get away from Eggman, and now Tom is considered pretty much a terrorist. That's what the news is reporting about Tom, because he's on the run from the government. And now Eggman, or AKA Dr. Robotnik, is on his tail and stuff. So that's where a big portion of the movie gets to, because what happens is, when Tom shoots Sonic with the tranquilizer, he drops the ring, because he's going to get the ring. Now that the government's after him, Sonic's going to get the ring to leave Earth. But he's conflicted, because he wound up liking Tom, following Tom and everything. And he don't want to leave. He wants to stay there, but he know he has to leave. So on his way trying to leave, and while he was in the garage to throw the ring, he gets shot with a tranquilizer, which now he drops the bag of rings, and the bag of rings end up dropping through the ring, and the ring opened up the door to San Francisco. So now the bag of rings are sitting on the roof. So that's why they're taking the road trip to get to San Francisco. And also San Francisco is also the place that Tom wants to go, because he got a new position as being an officer to go to San Francisco. So everything intertwines together and stuff. And then also his wife, Maddie, is also visiting her sister there. So it all makes sense why to have the characters go to San Francisco as well. And that's what happens. The good portion of the movie is them. If you've seen the trailers, it's them on the road, and Robotnik is showing off his many different gadgets that he have and how he's going after Sonic. And I must say that Sonic is very well animated in the action scenes and stuff. They just work. It just bounce. It just works all together and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. And just to fast forward, now Tom gets his wife involved because she's a veterinarian. Sonic gets hurt during one of the chase scenes and stuff, and Tom reveals Sonic to her, and she tried to use her veterinarian skills to try to help Sonic, but she couldn't really figure him out because he seems more human-like than he actually seems like an animal. So she finally was able to wake him up, and that's how you see his shoes. You also get the origin of his shoes and stuff like that. That he had these old torn up sneakers, and also you get a glimpse of what his feet looks like without the shoes, somewhat. Which everybody was just going nuts because everybody's always curious of how his feet look in the shoes and stuff. So you finally get that answered as well if people wanted to know. And then Maddie's niece, pretty much had some kicks, some Pumas in her room, and she gave them to Sonic, and that's how Sonic has now got his speed shoes, has got his running shoes and stuff like that. So you got the origin of that. So yes, this movie was pretty much like a cat and mouse chase throughout the whole film. Robotnik is trying to catch up to Sonic and trying to take him out, but Robotnik ends up getting a piece of Sonic's hair, and that hair had that supersonic speed in it, and he was able to use that to power up his equipment and stuff, and evolve his equipment. And then what I gotta say is that chase scene, which is awesome, where Eggman finally chases Sonic around in the streets and stuff. This really displayed Sonic's speed, because Sonic moves so fast. He has after images of himself, and this dude is fast. The fact is that he could jump rope, play ping pong, and do all this other stuff with an after image shows how fast he is, and how everything is so slow to him when you actually see his actual top speed. And they borrow some scenes from Quicksilver in the Fox's X-Men movies and stuff, where he slow everything down. He's moving everything out, in certain places and stuff, which is a good touch. But because Robotnik has his hair strand or whatever, he was able to power up his machine. So when Sonic was able to run fast, he was able to keep up with Sonic, and Sonic was confused, saying like no one have ever kept up with him before. That's why when you see the scene, he's throwing the ring, going to different places, Eggman is just on him. Robotnik is just chasing him down because he has that piece of that hair strand, and it's making him go fast. So that super speed, everything's not slow anymore. It's not slow to Eggman no more, because he's able to keep up with him because of the strand of hair. But as far as that's concerned, as far as the balance when it comes to that, if you notice, when it comes to CG movies, when it comes to CG anthropomorphic creatures and humans, they always seem to put the humans in it. And I think that the issue that they could never balance out in other films that's similar to Sonic is the fact is that the starring character, like if you have Alvin and the Chipmunks or you have Garfield and stuff, the starring character gets overshadowed by the human characters most of the time, or they throw in too many human characters, and the movie's supposed to focus, and the movie is titled after that anthropomorphic character. Well, they really balance this out, is because this is a Sonic film. Tom, Maddie doesn't overstay their welcome, and human characters in general doesn't overstay their welcome to the point where it's like, yo, this is a snooze fest. I want to see more Sonic. You get a lot of Sonic screen time, and you get a lot of Robotnik screen time at the same time on the screen together, which it just worked. Sonic bounces perfectly off of Robotnik, and Jim Carrey as Robotnik bounces perfectly off of Sonic. Same as Tom, starred by James Monster, and Maddie, his wife, which is Tika Sumster, she didn't really have that much airtime. I could believe it's about like 5 minutes and stuff like that. She more so popped up in like the middle endish type of the at that kind of point of the film where she spent most of that time. But other than that, yeah, man, they really did a good job portraying that in that sense, and they balanced it out just right. And I wish the movie was a bit longer, because before you know it, the movie was over. After they did the road trip, and then they finally meet, and Tom meets up with his wife, and they get to the San Francisco building, that was pretty much like the end of the movie. Like, time went by really, really fast, and I wish it was more to it and stuff. But they really got the action sequences, they really got the jokes, those one-liners just right and stuff. And throughout the whole film, you wanted Sonic to be happy. You wanted Tom and Sonic to be the best of buds. It's like you know them personally and stuff like that, and you wanted the best. You didn't want Sonic to actually leave Earth. You wanted him to stay there. He finally found family. He finally found friends, and that's all he wanted and stuff. Which I thought was pretty cool, man. I just loved it. It just worked. And even down to the end scene where Sonic finally came to that conclusion that no, I'm not going to run no more. I don't want to run no more. I finally found family. I finally found friends. I finally found people who appreciate me and not afraid of me, and I'm able to show myself to the public and stuff. And he's like, you know what, Eggman, you're going down. And instead of me leaving, you're going to leave. And that's what Sonic did, because the next place he was supposed to go to was the Mushroom World, which is the Mushroom Hill Zone. If you think about it, it looks just like the Mushroom Hills from Sonic and Knuckles, which I thought was pretty cool. When he fought Robotnik at the end, he went supersonic speed, and it reminded me of the video game, because he's just bouncing all on top of his Harrier craft thingy, portable Harrier craft. It reminds me of the game. I was just so excited. That kid in me was just going hype, and then he pushes Eggman into the ring, and he gets trapped inside Mushroom Hill Zone, which was pretty cool. And that pretty much had ended the movie, really, because at the end, he decides to stay on Earth. Tom and his wife Maddie decided to stay in Green Hill because they realized that Green Hill is their home. They're not going to leave Green Hill to go to San Francisco. They decided to stay in Green Hill, and plus everyone in Green Hill know who Sonic is now and stuff like that. And they end up kind of like adopting him. Sonic got his own place upstairs in their attic. He got his own room and everything like that. So he finally found a place to live, which I thought was pretty cool. And I was happy to see that he finally found a place to belong to and everything. Now he has like a family in some sort of way, which I thought was pretty cool. But overall, man, like I think they've done a good job. The studio has done a good job with this movie. Could they done a little bit more? Yeah, I believe they could have done a little bit more by making the movie just a bit longer and stuff like that. Is there any pacing issues in some spots? Yes, I think the first act was kind of short. They got straight to the point, but the middle act was drawn out with the road trip and stuff. And then the end act, like the final act, which is the third act, was very short, just as short as the first act. Like the final boss fight was really, really fast. So I think the pacing was the only issue that I really had with the movie. But overall, I think what makes it good, especially a good video game movie, you don't want to oversaturate it with just nothingness in it, but you do want to get to the point. And it didn't rely on just nostalgia. Like you can go in there and you don't have to find any Easter eggs or anything you can relate to enjoy the movie. So if you're not a Sonic fan, don't feel like you're like lost or anything, because they didn't make it rely on nostalgia, you know, which it works. So that means fans, friends, family, kids can all enjoy this movie. Now, before I close out, I also just want to talk about the ending scene, because guess what, guys? There is end credit scene to this movie, and I must say, oh my god, I got super hyped. I like when you go see a Marvel movie, you always look forward to the end credits because you want to know what character, if they're going to introduce new characters or what new plot lines they're going to introduce and stuff. Yo, they really did. They really got me, man. I wasn't expecting it at all, and it really got me hyped. So at the end and everything, the screen pan away from Green Hill, and then this ring open up, and a mysterious character come out. You see the silhouette, like he's like a hidden character. He jumps out of the ring, and guess who it is? It's Tails. Tails come out, and oh my god, dude, like I was going crazy inside. Like the kid in me was going nuts. Tails showed up, and the animation to Tails looked so badass. They did a good job to Tails. Tails looked way more detailed and way more even more animated than how Sonic looked. Because in some scenes with Sonic, you know it looked kind of rough. Like you can tell that he's too CG, and he looks, and at times he looked a little fake when you sit him next to like real objects and stuff. No, it seemed like they spent more time, like they had more time to work on Tails. His Tails look really detailed. He looks really colorful, and it's I believe it's the same voice actress who does Tails in the video games. It's the same exact voice and everything. And Tails pretty much comes out with his device saying, "Yo, I think if my device is saying this, if my readings are saying this correctly, that he has to be here." And he said, "I hope I'm not too late. I have to find him." And you see Tails jump off the cliff, and you see his tail spin, and he flies off and stuff into Green Hill. And what's so dope about it is it reminds me of an Avengers moment, like I said, like the end credits, because it has like this Avengers type song or theme to it when Tails come out or whatever like that. And then it just, oh my god, you should have seen Keel Lancer. Keel Lancer's in the theater going nuts. You just see you see Tails kicks his shoes, and then the screen pan up is Tails, man. Oh my god. So they already setting up a potential sequel, and I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this potential sequel for Sonic the Hedgehog. And not only that, Dr. Robotnik, he also cuts when he gets into the Mushroom Hill Zone. He's by himself. He's going cuckoo. He's talking to himself because he's alone. There's no one, so we think that he's alone. He's by himself, and he cuts all his hair off, and now he looks like Eggman. He looks like the Robotnik that we know. He has the goggles on. He has the bald head. His mustache is growing out even more and stuff. And he already, the way he's talking, because he still has a piece of Sonic's strand of hair, he says that I'll be home by Christmas. So, which means that he already has an idea of how to get back to Earth. So this is going to be pretty dope. And before I even close out, I'm just going to have a theory run to you guys. I'm going to run across to you guys. Now, my theory is, a lot of people were saying that how would Tails know Sonic? If Sonic was a baby, Sonic is much older than Tails, so Tails couldn't have been born when Sonic was running around and stuff like that. And if Sonic had ran away, how would Tails know? Now, my theory is that maybe, just maybe, could be wrong, that maybe his foster mother never died to begin with. Because, like I said, you never see her get killed. You see the ring close behind him, and you see her just using her wings to protect Sonic. So maybe she's still alive, and she gets in contact with Tails, and then she sends Tails out there to go look for Sonic or something. That's what I'm thinking. And not only that, there was an Easter egg where they show Eggman's inside his truck that he had a button that said Badniks on it. So I believe that, in my opinion, in my theory, that in the sequel, Sonic and Tails is going to team up together, and Robotnik's going to come back to Earth, and they're going to probably introduce the Badniks, the robotic animals and stuff like that. And Sonic is going to be up to Sonic and Tails to fight the Badniks. I can imagine like a rhino Badnik, or a crocodile Badnik, or an elephant and stuff like that. I mean, these robots that can create good action scenes. And not only that, because of Robotnik's intelligence, now that we have Tails in the mix, Tails would make a good adversary, make a good opponent for Eggman, because Sonic already beat him in the physical aspect. Now it's going to be the battle of the minds, battle of the intellect, which I think is going to be cool, because now like Robotnik always bragged about that there's no one on his level as far as intellect, and now when Tails get in the picture, I can't wait to see how these two are going to clash against each other in a potential sequel, which I believe is going to be a sequel. I think it's going to do pretty well, but that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm hyped about. And hopefully we get some hints to maybe some more backstory with the echidnas, and and Knuckles. Maybe get some hints of Knuckles in the near future as well in the sequel. And like the sequel is going to seem like it's going to be so far away if we get a sequel, man. Like the way it ended with Tails running and flying off like that looking for Sonic, I want to see this. It's like I want to see the next episode, like what's going to happen. So can't wait to see how Sonic's going to respond, and how Tom and them's going to respond, knowing that there's another furry animal like Sonic, and from his world on top of that, so he's not alone, So that pretty much wraps up this video. There was an Easter egg that had Sonic in it, which I think is a cool callback to the memes, to the people that loves memes and stuff like that. But overall, man, I love the film. If you're a video game fan, as far as I'm concerned, to me it was better than Detective Pikachu. And two, I think this is one of the best video game adaptations that they have ever done and put out there so far. And I think the creators, the producers, them should give themselves a pat on the back for going out their way to make a good film, a competent film. You could tell that from the back history of it, some of the people who worked on it had also worked on the CG of some of the Sonic games, and also had some history with Sonic as well. So this is like a passion project to them, and they took really care, and they respected the source material. And I believe that since Detective Pikachu did pretty well, and now Sonic, I believe, is going to do pretty well, maybe other directors are going to start taking video games adaptations really much more serious, because Sega did say that they plan on doing more movies and giving out more licenses, because there is talks of they want to do Shinobi, Alter Beast, and a few other type of and Golden Axe into movies. So hopefully we get a Streets of Rage as well. So if Sonic does well, Sega will push forward for those other movies. And not only that, if Sonic does do well, when we do see more movies coming, expect these franchises to be revived and rebooted into a new generation of games as well. So I think that's the upside. The upside for everybody. If you listen to the fans, or just hear out the fans and create a good video game adaptation, you're gonna reap the benefits of it. It not only helps the studio, it's also good for the fans. The fans get what they want, and that's all they want. They just want to be treated right. And that's the result of it. But as far as the redesign is concerned, my take on it is this was all part of the marketing plan. This was all part of the marketing expense. This was all part of the marketing budget. They already said that the ugly design of the ugly Sonic was only used for the trailer. He was never implemented in the entire movie. It was just for the trailer to put out there. So they didn't even begin to implement him, which means that this wasn't going to be the base Sonic at all. I think because of them putting that Sonic out there generated so much talk, and then them saying that, hey, we're going to have a redesign for you guys, made everybody keep their eyes on it. And then when the redesign, which they already had, trust me, they did, they put it out there, and of course it's going to cost them money, or whatever like that. That's all was factored into the budget of the marketing budget, and they put it out there, and it worked, because everybody who wasn't going to see the movie was going to see the movie, and people who aren't into Sonic said they're going to see the movie based on the fact that how the studio listened. So it worked out for them to me in the end. And that pretty much wraps up this review. I hope I didn't talk your ears off. We're going into like 35 minutes for this review. So I'm gonna try to get this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys haven't seen it, I advise you go check it out. I seen it Thursday night, and I'm gonna see it again with my daughter, because my daughter didn't see it yet. So we're gonna see it tonight and everything. But people went nuts. Like, you would have swore you was in the Marvel movie, watching the Marvel movie when Tails showed up. Like, looking at the reaction stuff, people went nuts in the theaters when Tails showed up, and I'm so happy, I'm so giddy like about this, man. Like, I live in a timeline where a Sonic movie actually exists, and I'm talking about a Sonic movie. Oh my god. But yeah, so if you like the video, share, pass it around, and also you want to hear more news related to Sonic the Hedgehog, hit that bell to be notified. This is Mugen Lord, sign off. See you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below, and don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.